Everybody heading to the high country this weekend got a bluebird day on the slopes for President's Day weekend. Conditions cleared up after the latest round of snow fell in the mountains overnight and into this morning. Down here in the metro, a weekend warm-up is on the way. We're expected to see some more warm and dry weather all the way through Monday. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says conditions are the most dangerous near Steamboat and Crested Butte, and they say you really ought to check out their website for updated conditions. Corey Reppenhagen, I know you've been covering some of that. What happens with all these snowpack places throughout the state this week? It's been an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, because we've got a weak layer underneath all of this snow that fell, and we're going to see thousands of avalanches here over the last yesterday and today and even into tomorrow. And now down here on the Front Range, we've got extreme heat, strong winds, and grass fire danger in the forecast. Once again, here's the current temperatures across the blue sky day here across the Front Range. Didn't quite make it to 60 degrees today, so we'll have to wait till tomorrow to tie the record for the most 60-degree days in a single winter. That'll tie it tomorrow and break it on Monday. We could also tie a daily record for tomorrow. The all-time record, 67 degrees, set in 2017. Our forecast is 67, so we could tie it or break it tomorrow, so we could potentially have two records tied. And the next 3 days here have extreme heat in the forecast, a good 20 to 25 degrees warmer than normal. High fire danger coming up here on Tuesday before our next winter storm moves into the mountains. Got a lot to explain coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes, Jenny.
All right, Corey Reppenhagen, thank you. This recent snowfall again has pushed the avalanche danger into considerable category across much of Colorado's northern and central mountains. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel shows us why that danger exists despite some of the snowfall we've had so little of this season.
Video from Gunnison County shows two skiers triggering an avalanche on Thursday. Proof that slides can happen no matter how much snow is on the ground.
And so what you're seeing is this persistent slab avalanche breaking on that weak layer. This is, again, a real clear indication that there's dangerous conditions out there.
Mike Cooperstein and the Colorado Avalanche Information Center have upgraded most of the state to moderate or considerable danger levels after much needed snow fell across the mountains last week.
So 14 to 18 inches of snow in the last week in those areas. And the snowpack just doesn't like that when it gets a big load like that.
Think about it like baking a cake with multiple layers. That long dry spell we've had has turned the top layer of snow into loose, icy crystals, sort of like sugar. Now, a heavy layer of new snow is sitting on top of that. And Mike says it's not a question of if it will slide, but when.
These kind of avalanches are the ones that we're really concerned about because these let people get out into the middle of the slope. They don't break at your feet. They can break above you. They can break around you, and you can trigger them from a distance. So these are the pretty scary avalanches. And we get a lot of these in Colorado, unfortunately.
Nobody has been killed in an avalanche so far this season, but 32 people have been caught and 3 people have been injured. Mike says this weekend is traditionally a dangerous one, with 13 deaths over President's Day weekend over the past decade.
And so historically, yeah, we have a lot of people moving around in the mountains this time of year, and that usually equals more accidents.
He hopes people move throughout the high country with caution, knowing unstable snow sits beneath all that fresh powder that looks so inviting. Evan Krugel, 9 News.
New tonight, authorities have identified the 4 people killed in a small plane crash near Steamboat Springs. Happened early yesterday. The Routt County Coroner's Office says the victims were 47-year-old Aaron Stokes, 21-year-old Jackson Stokes, 21-year-old Colin Stokes, and 37-year-old Austin Husky. According to our sister station in Nashville, WSMV4, Aaron Stokes was dad to Jackson and uncle to Colin. A preliminary report from the FAA says this crash happened near Emerald Mountain just after midnight. Flight tracker shows the plane came from Nashville, stopped in Kansas City, then headed to Steamboat. Our sister station in Nashville also reports that Aaron Stokes lived in Franklin, Tennessee, with his wife and 4 children. American figure skater Max Naumov's first Olympics is now in the books. But this Olympics was always bigger for him than medals or scores. The 24-year-old lost both his parents in that plane crash last year over Washington, D.C., when the American Airlines plane collided with the Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River. 67 people died in that crash, including Nama's parents. They were coaches at the skating club in Boston and killed alongside other members, including 2 skaters and their mothers. Today in Milan, he talked about holding up that photo of him and his parents after one of his routines to share a message that they are always with him.
I wanted to share that incredible moment with them, for them to be sitting with me, looking up at the Jumbotron and looking at the scores, and just, I kept saying to myself, look at what we did, look where we are, and you know, that moment is so special to me.
Namov ended up finishing 20th in men's figure skating. A man from Fort Collins is now representing Team USA in bobsledding. Hunter Powell, who always had Olympic dreams, just not this way. Now the sport has led him to Italy and to the love of his life. 9 News Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert shares that story.
Many people have dreams or goals. They don't always know how to get there.
I've trained for summer outdoor sports.
Fort Collins native Hunter Powell knew he'd make it to the Olympics. Not because he was the fastest or strongest.
I wasn't a freak athlete ever at any point in my life.
He's a dreamer.
Colorado State University head track coach Brian Bedard trained Hunter
Love the
in
movement.
just about every track
I
event.
prefer the foot down. He's one of those athletes that you'd have to tell him to leave the track. That's enough's enough.
Hunter was a CSU heptathlon and decathlon Mountain West champion. The plan was the Summer Olympics.
He always dreamed big,
An ankle injury got in the way.
and he had some bumps in the road.
Thought his career was over.
Paris Powell knew his son's work ethic.
After practice, Hunter was the one that was out there running, you know, doing more laps. That's him taking off.
Competing led Hunter to Utah track star Keisha Love.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the pole vault during the decathlon. Saw her, couldn't stop looking at her, and I ended up meeting her after the competition. We were really good friends for a long time, and
Eventually, Keisha made the switch from the field to the bobsled.
we had started dating, and she told me, you know, you really got to think about doing bobsled. I know you're about to be done with track.
Go, 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 go.
Turns out, Hunter was also really
It
good.
was a very natural transition because it was also very much a strength, speed, power event.
And then they're gone.
Go, 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 come on.
A year and a half later, Hunter's now representing Team USA as a bobsled push athlete alongside Keisha.
You imagine traveling all over Europe with a woman you love and you're marrying?
I've trained for summer outdoor sports since I was a little kid, and here I am at the Winter Olympics, which is just the biggest curveball I could have ever guessed of.
It's a curveball,
There you go. That's how we get through it.
but it's not unexpected.
With his sprint speed and, you know, his horsepower and everything, I think as a pusher on one of the bobsled, that makes perfect sense to me.
I'm blown away by him, thinking that this is my son. I don't just...
You never know where the journey's going to take you. I can promise you it's not going to be the way that you think it is, and it's never going to happen on the timeline you think. But you owe it to yourself to do the best you can in all you do.
Hunter's hard work made reality beat the dream.
So Hunter is set to race next week, and we wish him, everyone really, the best of luck. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. The iconic M overlooking Golden has been a symbol of pride for Colorado School of Mines for a long time, more than a century. But for special occasions, there's a group of students that hike up there and change it up every now and then. 9 News reporter Rhea Jha joins us live in Golden tonight to show us what they've done for Valentine's Day. Rhea?
Yes, happy Valentine's Day, Jenny. And yes, students with the Blue Key Honor Society change the M for different events across in the year. Some can be homecoming, they do it for graduation, and today, Valentine's Day. So we spoke with one of the students about how they get it done. Every school has its symbol of pride.
Not every university has a big letter on their mountain.
At Colorado School of Mines, you can see that pride from anywhere in Golden.
We're going to the entrance of it.
Tyler Ware is a senior now, but he remembers one of the first times it caught his eye. It wasn't an M.
I first saw the M change my freshman year, and I wanted to be a part of that, and that's why I sort of joined Blue Key in a sense.
Tyler is now one of the leaders of Mine's Blue Key Honor Society. It's a group of students that hikes up here each semester to transform the iconic letter.
So we carpool up here, do the hike up here, and we take out as many temp strands as we need.
This Valentine's Day,
these are our 2 chests.
the M is feeling the love.
You can't see it right now, but there's a heart illuminated.
Designing a symbol at this scale
Very, very steep.
isn't easy.
10 people to do all this. We laid this temp strand in as circular as we could for the heart.
Swapping out the traditional bulbs to set the mood.
Using these red bulbs, which we rarely use. We screw it in all the way and it lights up. It brings me a lot of joy to see the heart on the M, but also it brings me a lot more joy to see my friends text me and say, oh wow, it looks really good right now.
A tradition Tyler is proud of because of its connection.
It's really a special thing to me that I get to be able to do this for not only Mines, but for all of Golden.
It is still a little too bright here in Golden. As soon as that sun sets, though, the red heart will be glowing across Golden. So whether you're celebrating Valentine's Day tonight or not, you can always look up towards the mountain to get a little love. Reporting in Golden, Rhea Jha, 9 News.